I've got it on the screen right there. This is a Roman Catholic channel run by Creeper Goon, Voice of Reason's BFF.
Real quick. Producer who produces his videos calling Orthodoxy false.
Yeah. So the guy who produces, you're saying Voice of Reasons.
Let me touch your booty. Let me bite your booty. Let me bite your booty. Let me bite your booty.
Right. That Voice of Reason.
Voice of Reason is a V8 engine.
His producer is the Roots of Orthodoxy. We signal all the time and are hyper racialist, and then call you, this is crazy, they call you all the ethnic slurs they can think of, and then they will piety signal about how racist you are. It's insane. Like I've never seen anything. They are probably the worst. So I would say the worst online behavior now, with incoherent, inconsistent groupthink, is actually the Monophysites. They've actually taken over all the other goobers. I mean, because they do all the behaviors of Muslims, but couch it in their fake piety. That's why it's so bad, right? So imagine, like, trad cats, you know they're just going to be fake and gay, right? But imagine Muslims pretending to be Christians, creating fake accounts, buying bot followers, stealing our Discord link, redirecting it to their Discord, pretending to be Orthodox with large accounts, and then flipping it, reporting my stream, getting it pulled down on TikTok. Like, that's their whole ethos. Monophysites take the gate. Matt Scroggin, $7.77. Yeah, I actually think they do. And this is why David Erhan was so spot on saying this 2 or 3 years ago. In fact, remember, like 6 months ago, Kai said that they're basically the same as the Muslims. And the funny thing is, like, I thought, why would they be like the Muslims? And then remember Scam Shamu had a meltdown over Kai saying that? Kai's totally vindicated. That they're exactly like, they are Muslims. They're Muslims with crosses. That's it. And you're talking about people with 90 IQs, no reading comprehension, no ability to actually just, that's why they just basically act like goobers. Oh, by the way, it's total hypocrisy with the crying about the racism, because you understand they're literally an ethno-philotist, race-based tribal religion. That's their religion. And this is the one thing I wanted to say, metaphysics, in terms of metaphysical speculations and thoughts, that actually came out of the Ludwell conference, because I was thinking about this when we were there, and it occurred to me after many of the lectures, what's one of the things that ends up being a commonality amongst a lot of the worldviews here, whether it's the Roman Catholics and their shift towards, we've got to have a common alliance for politics, right? This is kind of the whole idea that certain people have, that you can make an alliance on the right with all the groups together, even with Muslims, to create a common front against the degeneracy or whatever. The problem is that that's insane. That doesn't actually work. Muslims are not conservatives. It's a crazy cult. You can't form a cultural alliance with crazy cults. Okay. Likewise, yeah, it's like, oh, let's get all the demons together because we all agree, right? Like we all agree on some points, so let's get all the demons to work together on the points where we agree. It's just crazy. But I thought about this because at the same time as some of the lectures at Ludwell were talking about political stuff and how religion, when religious groups lose their focus, or when they turn away from the actual source, the fount of life, Christ, they turn to, what's the next thing that they turn to? The socio-political, which in many cases is the tribal ethnic group. Now, the tribal ethnic group type thing is not bad, but the problem is that once the hierarchy of importance is lost, the default thing that kind of pops into place to fill the gap becomes the tribal ethnos. So the Wignats, the neo-pagans, they do the exact same thing. the Monophysite heretics, all of which are based on their tribal national churches, do the exact same thing. And so they end up really just acting like the tendency of their people group in history. They no longer transcend the vices and the problems. They act identical to or worse than the Muslims, who also have a political warlord conquering based faith. So you're noticing the pattern here is that every one of these groups, the Roman Catholics, the Muslims, the Monophysites, and even this can even happen in the Orthodox world when there is a turn to what sometimes is called ethnophylatism, which puts the ethnic homogeny and political interests above the theological. The political and ethnic things are not bad, but if they become an idol, that's the problem. So today on the War Room, we talked about the example of the Byzantine Empire. And if you know the history of Byzantium, one of the things that began to cause its fracturing was rabid nationalism. I'm not talking about post French Revolution modern nationalism. I'm talking about ethnic pride, Greek pride. Is it wrong to be Greek? No. But the problem is that as Greek pride became a intense reality thing above the existence of the universal church, that contributed to the fracturing of Byzantium. And then we got the Byzantium Empire. And some of the people are actually calling, I didn't actually know this, but some people were saying that the Monophysites, with their double ethical behavior, you understand a lot of these groups have a dual ethic, right? Middle Eastern people have a dual ethic. They believe that there's one ethic for the in-group, and then there's a different ethic for the out-group, right? And so Christianity, it has a universal ethic, right? Where you don't play favorites, everybody is equal before the law. But you understand that a lot of these imported cultures and people groups, including the Monophysites, they don't have this view. They revert to their tribal affiliations and views and actually worship the tribe and the group, and thus all of that takes precedence over everything else. And then it becomes a justification for all forms of bad behavior, because that's what you do to survive. That's their ethos. For example, in the Quran, as we have talked about, you guys know, it speaks of being kind and beneficent to those who are outside of Islam and friendly until you gain dominance. Then you subvert them. Then you oppress them and you enslave them. You can do that. So that's a dual ethic, right? It allows for a kind of deception. It says smile at them with your face and oppose them in your heart until you have the upper hand. And isn't it interesting that the behavior of all the Monophysites is the exact same energy and approach and vibe as the Muslims? So they just happen to act exactly like the people that they apparently helped come into Byzantium. Did you know that? You know what's funny and what's enjoyable is that all of the piety signaling and the people like whining and crying in the religious sphere about jokes and impersonations, like all nobody cares about that anymore. Like people are beyond that. And what they notice is like the Roman Catholics and the Monophysites and the Muslims, they act just like the social justice warriors. And nobody cares about you calling me the R word anymore, dude. People are done with that, man. I went to a giant conference with hundreds and hundreds of people. It was over 200. It might have even been 300. Somebody said it might have been 300. And quite a few Ethiopians and black people showed up. Nobody cared about the racist stuff. Like, once the R word loses its power, it's done. None of that shit's going to matter. So, who cares? Like, nobody cares that you whine and cry as you call us and white bread. That's literally what the Monophysites were doing. The Monophysites were saying how ugly we are, how we're white bread, all this stuff. Literally just spewing out all this crap. Then they cry about the racisms. They're total hypocrites. But in their ethics, in their ethos, they don't have a problem being hypocrites because there's a dual ethic of in-group preference, but another ethic for the out-group. And it's funny because everything that I said about them, their responses proved all of my analysis. So they're their own worst enemy. Carb, $2. Why do you have beef with Father Paul? Lame. Again, I mean, if you don't like what I talk about, you can go elsewhere. I don't understand why he would go on a Uni8 fraud channel of a guy LARPing to call out ortho bros. It's like out of order. Like if you're going to call people out, I get it, but you're on a fake pretending to be Orthodox channel. So it's like you're calling out, but you're doing something even worse. So, and I don't know him. I've never talked to him. Don't know anything about him. Never said it. It's just like people think I start beef with people when people criticize and call me out. And then if I reply, why are you starting beef? It's always backwards. People hop into things midstream and they're like, why is Dyer causing all this drama? Dude, I've never even talked about him. Don't know who he is. Never mentioned him. And then that people call out like as if this is some sort of like bold, brave thing to call out the ortho bros. And all that's doing is like signaling to like the normies, and trying to get social attention and traction by calling out a thing that's not even a thing to call out. Like there's no such thing as like this movement of ortho bros. It's young men interested in converting to Orthodoxy get labeled ortho bro, precisely on purpose to make sure that they don't. He didn't mention you. You raged at everyone. What are you even talking about? Do you even know that that's a fraud channel? It's like people don't even know that Roots of Orthodoxy is a guy who, just like the Oriental Orthodox, so-called the Oriental metaphysics, or the Oriental Monophysites, they start channels claiming to be Orthodox to build an audience, and then they start putting in the Coptic stuff. Well, Roots of Orthodoxy did the same thing as a Uni8, right? Starting channels. Oh, but he's interviewing and just putting out information. No, it's grifting because he hid that he was a Uni8, playing like he's Orthodox, exactly like the Monophysites do. And then once he got caught, oh, okay, you guys got me. I admit it. I'm actually a Uni8. I'm not Orthodox, but my channel was Roots of Orthodoxy. Well, all of these Orthodox priests, and I'm not faulting them for going on there, but what I'm saying is they go on there without checking into who the person is, without checking out. So wait a minute, the ortho bros are bad, but you're going on a guy's channel that's not even Orthodox and he was pretending to be Orthodox? No. This is like a year old stuff. That all came out like a year ago. So then they put up the clips of, oh, we got it. We got a priest calling out ortho bros. The only reason they're calling out ortho bros and putting up those clips is to give the impression that it's Orthodox stuff. They're not even Orthodox, you idiots. You fell for it. And the priests that went on there probably fell for it. So if the ortho bros are bad, who are actually Orthodox and catechumens of people converting, then a Roots of Orthodoxy fake channel is 10 times worse. So you should have called out the channel. The host of it even talks about converting to Roman Catholicism. Exactly. Insert the Christ in the Culture guy. Yeah, the Christ in the Culture Monophysite guy did the exact same thing. Jay is projecting. He's raged at So what do you like? You're typing like a emotional woman, raging at people. So my replying to people in the comments is raging. Look how over the top ridiculous this is. They were talking about prayer and repentance. First of all, the clip was talking about ortho bros, calling out ortho bros. And Carb, I want you to address, why did they not call out the fake channel? So notice he's defending, he's not, all he wants to talk about is me replying to people in the comments that that's a fake ass channel. And all you're doing is saying that I'm bad. I'm enraged. Yeah. Look at me raging. Oh, how do you rage in a comment, by the way? Like, the comments were me saying this is a fraud channel. Whoa, that's a raging. He's enraged. Carb, $2. I am aware you are mad that he talked to the non-Orthodox. Are you dense? Are you unintelligent? We talk to non-Orthodox, you goober. I said that if you're going to call out moral problems, then going on a fraudulent channel that engaged in fraud intentionally, that's worse than whatever ortho bros are doing. Carb is probably a uniate. Exactly. I guarantee you that's the issue here, is that he's probably not Orthodox. And so the whole idea of an ecumenist-minded grifter channel, do you understand the channel was grifting? And that's why he had to finally admit it's not an Orthodox channel that spent a year pretending to be Orthodox. Like Jay has never talked to the non-Orthodox. So notice he's actually lying. He's trying to frame it that I'm mad that a priest talked to a non-Orthodox person. That's completely stupid. I was just at a freaking conference talking to many people who were non-Orthodox. You think everybody that went to the Ledwell conference was Orthodox? No, there's plenty of non. That's so stupid. That's totally dishonest. You can see this guy's dishonest, right? Jay's mad because he talked to an Orthodox person. No, you don't understand that just like the Monophysites, people create fake channels. They're not Orthodox. They build an audience. Then they start slipping in Uniate or Coptic stuff. They've been doing this. The Uniates were doing this since 2018, 19. It's just such an old, tired. This is like, people were calling out ortho bros in 2018. We're way past that, man. And the same people calling out the ortho bros. Where are they calling out the Skittles liberals in the church? It's hypocrisy. I don't care if people go read the comments. Why are you all following a fraudulent channel? It's just completely stupid. They're all deflecting from the main point, which is that this is a grift profile, admitted that he was lying and grifting. So you understand, the guy is it's freaking Voice of Reason's BFF. The guy that does the stupid ass thing is Voice of Reason's buddy. And you idiots are here arguing with me because I called them out in the comments. Dude, you understand, they're 10 times worse. That's the point. Their grifting is 10 times worse than the Ortho Bros. You idiot. You stupid hypocrite. It's not a channel. It's the roots of, well, it is a channel. It's the Roots of Orthodoxy channel and the Roots of Orthodoxy Instagram. And they put up clips of the brave calling out of the Ortho Bro. Oh, so brave to call out the Ortho Bros. It's brave. Stunning and brave. And I went in the comments and said, how come nobody's calling out the fact that this is a lying fraud grifter channel? So I put that in the comments, and I'm the bad guy for saying that. You see the logic of these people? I mean, it's not just trolling, though. That's the thing. It's like, oh, they're just trolling. It's not just trolling because it's the same as the Monophysites. The Monophysites are bad because they pretend to be Orthodox. They create and build an audience, fooling everybody. Turns out they're not. And then they admit they're lying. And it's like, oh, yeah, but your tone. But your tone. Dude, lying and grifting as a schismatic and a heretic is 50 times worse than my tone, you dummy. The point isn't about the channel. No, my point is about the channel. No, you are being false pious, you idiot, because schismatics and grifters are 10 times worse than raging in comments, you idiot. That's what you don't understand, you stupid hypocrite. It's like you guys don't have the sense of what things are worse than other things. It is far worse to promote a channel of schismatics and heretic grifters who admit they're lying and grifting than calling out an ortho bro for arguing on the internet. That's what I said. Carb, will you call in and we'll hash this out man to man? I'm not going to be mean to you, but you're not going to lie and say that I'm mad because he talked to a non-Orthodox person. That is so stupid and obviously preposterous. So again, the criticism was I raged against people in comments. The raging was me pointing out that Roots of Orthodoxy was a fraud, schismatic, grifter Instagram profile. That is raging. Now, what was I calling out? Well, the clip was Father Paul Truenbach, who I don't know, I've never talked about, never called out, was on the Roots of Orthodoxy fake scam channel calling out ortho bros. And I replied that why doesn't he call out the thing that's 10 times worse, which is the grifting fraud channel? Now, maybe he didn't know. But now that he does know, has he called it out? So it's worse to be an ortho bro and argue on the internet. That's worse in these people's flip side morality than being a fraudulent grifting channel lying that you're Orthodox and being Roman Catholic. That's what's so crazy. They actually think that it's worse to debate and be aggressive on the internet, but lying and grifting is not that bad. That's the thing I'm saying. And he says, oh, you raged at... Raging at... What does that even mean? Raging at people. How do you rage in comments? It's so gay, dude. It's like, what? Get out of here, man. It's not even worth anybody's time. But let me show you my raging. I'll show you exactly what he's talking about. I have to find the clip. Okay, it's right here. And all it is all these people just trying to talk about how bad the ortho bros are. Okay, here's what I said. Here we go. So remember, this is a fraudulent channel created a year ago or so by Voice of Reason, the Creeper's BFF. I don't know the guy's name. And they invited all these people on acting like they were an Orthodox channel called Roots of Orthodoxy. Okay. And it's not an Orthodox channel. So they had Father Josiah on, Father Paul Truenbach on, I think maybe even Luigi, right? And some other people. Well, it turns out people started asking, wait a minute, are you actually Orthodox? And no, it turns out the guy was lying. And he admitted, yeah, okay, I wasn't. I'm not. I'm Uniate Roman Catholic. And I built a channel and a Instagram profile all based on fraud. It's fraudulent. It's grifting. Right? Now, I don't know that these priests knew that. And I'm not saying that they did. Right? Maybe let's give them the benefit of the doubt and say they all thought that the guy was Orthodox. Right? Now, they're going to call out ortho bros. Okay, fine. What's worse? Being an aggressive debater on the internet or being a fraudulent, lying, grifting channel? I mean, do you people not see that's 10 times worse than aggressive internet debating? So here's what I said, because this was calling out the ortho bros. It's like the keyboard warriors debating on the internet. Okay, wow, really brave to call out the keyboard warriors debating on the internet. They're the real problem in the church, right? Not ecumenism, not TRANZ, not Skittles, not libs at the seminaries. The real problem is young men arguing on the internet. Yeah, that's the real problem in the church, right? So here, we'll play this clip.
An ideology as well. This is what happens, I'm afraid to say, with a lot of the keyboard warriors. A lot of the guys you see online who are constantly decrying heresy and fighting all the immorality around them, they come off as really angry people.
Now, is that true? Okay, fine. But the fact of the matter is, Roots of Orthodoxy is a fraud, a grifter. He admitted that he was lying. When it got found out that his channel wasn't Orthodox, he's a Uniate Roman Catholic, doing the exact same thing as all the Monophysite grifters do, pretend to be Orthodox, build an audience, and then say, oh, by the way, we're Coptic. It's the same thing. No. Did Father Paul pray and call out this grifter channel? Has he done that? Maybe he has. It's not a matter of attacking. It's that calling out the problems is fine, and calling out the ortho bros, which we've heard incessantly for 8 years, and it's not really like young men are still converting. So this message from 8 years ago of young men converting with bad attitudes, it's like it's played out. It's not the real problem anymore. And exactly. Is it actually bad to be angry about heresy? It's not. David says, be angry and sin not. And so the comments were all about Dyer and the Ortho bros need to take this to heart. People on the internet arguing Orthodox theology like Dyer need to take this to heart. Okay, we've heard all this since 2017, 18. So this is an old complaint that people are noticing and figuring out isn't the real problem anymore. What's more of a danger to the church? Heterosexual young white dudes converting to Orthodoxy or gay bishops? I wonder which one is more of a threat. Now, where's the calling out of that stuff? Maybe he does call it out. I don't know. That's what I said. That's my point. Why all the focus on ortho bros and not the frickin' clergy that are gay or compromised or working for the State Department, the EP, any of that? None of them talk about that. A few do. So where's that? But they score points calling out the ortho bro. It's just so weak and lame. That's my point. So, did he not have the discernment? Think about this. He's a priest going on a channel. Did you not inquire as to whether this was a guy who's actually Orthodox? I mean, like, where was your discernment in that? So here's me raging. Did Father Paul pray about this heterodox channel? Did he? It's a fair question. And the fact that he's a priest and I'm laity doesn't mean I can't. There's nothing that says I can't say this. Now, then I said to the audience, note to all the piety signalers here. Father Paul didn't have the discernment to know that this is a fake Orthodox channel. It's a Roman Catholic channel LARPing as Orthodox. But who's the bad guy here? Ortho bros on the internet. Dude, it's 10 times worse to be in heresy and schism and to be a grifting fraud. How does anyone not see that? Like, I can't understand. And you notice all anyone is saying is you're bad because you talked about it. What? What the F is wrong with you people? How? Explain this to me. Make it make sense. Chase?
Yeah, it's totally ridiculous. I just wanted to add to what you're saying. It's pretty funny because what I notice is it's these people that go on talking smack about actual Orthodox Christians who have a blessing to do apologetics. You don't have to like them. You don't have to like everybody. That's a very immature mentality to think that you're going to be liked by everybody in any point in life. People just aren't going to like you. That's fine. You're not, you're not meant to be friends with everybody, but it's people will then go on there, talk a bunch of smack, say horrible things like, and I'm not saying this to rile you up. I know you know that, but like Dyer's not even a Christian, saying these horrible things. And then when asked repeatedly, like literally every time Roots of Orthodoxy posts on his Instagram, I comment saying, are you Orthodox, or are you still lying and you don't believe your Instagram bio that says Orthodoxy, the church founded by Christ in 33 AD? And they just ignore it. They don't care. And it's funny because it's a typical like Machiavellian tactic to get affected people on your enemy's side to turn against their affected people.
Of course. Absolutely. Now, notice here's what Chase is saying. I've got it on the screen right there. This is a Roman Catholic channel run by Creeper Goon, Voice of Reason's BFF.
Producer, real quick. Producer who produces his videos calling Orthodoxy false.
Yeah. So the guy who produces, you're saying Voice of Reasons.
Let me touch your booty. Let me bite your booty. Let me bite your booty. Let me bite your booty.
Right. That Voice of Reason.
Voice of Reason is a V8 engine.
His producer is the Roots of Orthodoxy.
Correct.
Okay. And notice what it says right here. Orthodox Christianity, the true church founded by Christ in 33 AD. This guy produces the videos for the guy who constantly calls out Orthodoxy as a false religion and just got busted as a giant gooner fraud. And now, Roots of Orthodoxy still grifting. And you are mad at me for calling it out as a grifting channel and pointing out, how come these Orthodox priests aren't calling out this fraudulent grifting channel run by Voice of Reason's producer? You all just got owned. You guys are the ones that are wrong. And the priests who are on this should call that out. Instead, who's the bad guys? Ortho bros on the internet. Oh, really brave, really bold, calling out anonymous Ortho bros on the internet, meaning me, which is not anonymous, but all the anonymous Ortho bros and me. And
yeah,
none of these people have the discernment to know that, like, do you not realize that people lie? Let's take another example of lying. Look at the reply to another one of these large profiles, the Monophysites doing the exact same thing. Look at this. The Christ and Culture Instagram channel, which was large, putting up tons and tons of Orthodox content. Then suddenly it starts slipping in Coptic, Syriac, Oriental, Monophysite, schismatic stuff. So someone asks him, wait a minute, you're not Orthodox, are you? Brother, I actually become Coptic 9 years ago. Exactly. It's like, stop being so naive, man. You guys are so naive and just like, you don't have discernment. And then you think you make me the bad guy because I call out and tell you something that you can verify is true. They're not Orthodox channels. Brother, why you rage? Why you cause drama? Dude, they're freaking lying. It's not an Orthodox channel. They got caught lying. And you still all follow it like a bunch of dummies.
Brand.
Huh?
It's treating our religion like a
brand.
They
created a brand to grift.
Yep.
You dummies.
And the funny thing is, and I hope some of your clips channels clip this and put Christ in Culture, that dummy slack-jawed goofball, on blast. If you won't talk to Jay, he's so powerful, you won't talk to Jay, he's so pious, talk to me, talk to someone else publicly, because the thing is, what all these people do, they attack you, they attack us. I'm not anonymous, my name's Chase Haggard. I have a blessing to do apologetics. I don't say anything I wouldn't be happy for my priest seeing. But what they do is they go, oh, anyone who argues is bad, so I'm just going to post something attacking this person, allow people to say horrible things like, Dyer's not even Christian. Ortho bros don't even go to church. I'm teaching Sunday school this Sunday. I teach high school Sunday school all the time. But they'll say that so that then when you ask, hey, do you want to actually do the biblical thing and engage man to man and actually talk about this? No. I'm too pious. You just want to debate, and that's evil, that's wrong. And it's the same playbook with all these people, and it's pathetic, and it's going to get worse. Orthodoxy is just starting to be talked about in the normal religious conversations in the United States. There's going to be thousands of people making little Orthodox channels and stuff. It's going to get a lot worse.
Yeah, they saw they're
better.
just riding the trends. It's obviously that they're creating a grift. And so now Rolf Stakes, I agree with you. $5 says, to be fair, Roots of Orthodoxy is being fraudulent with the priests and pushing the conversations in a way to have them denounce the Orthodox. I don't doubt that he probably presented himself as an inquirer or a catechumen to these people, right? But the problem is that nobody knows that he's actually become Orthodox. There's no evidence of that. So he was already creating a channel as someone who's not even a catechumen. That means that by definition, the priests are going on an orthobro channel. In other words, someone not instructed, not even a catechumen yet. That's the hypocrisy here. So yes, if Father Paul is going to call out the orthobros, then he needs to call out this channel for being lied to by a prospective orthobro. That's the point. Do you not understand that? I'm not a prospective orthobro. I'm like almost 10 years into this religion. Stop calling me some new convert orthobro. It's not true. Nor is Chase.
No, I got received almost 6 years ago, and I'm a baby in the faith. I'm not saying, I've been received this many years. But the funny thing is, with the Roots of Orthodoxy channel, he made one video saying, I'm not Orthodox. Some people were calling me out as if it's a secret. Then why does your Instagram bio say it's the church founded by Christ? And why do you have one video saying, I'm not Orthodox? That's your least viewed video. You need, it's so obviously a grift, and it's this stuff. It's disgusting. It's really sad. And
imagine if I did this, what these people would say, or if Chase did this, what would they say about us?
Oh yeah, imagine if I could totally con the Trad Inc., like Catholic Inc. I could totally con them, and I could get money from them and do this. To me, it's actually blasphemous to claim a religion is true, and on your Instagram profile, it is true. Orthodoxy is true. To claim it is and you don't believe it, that's horrifying to me. That's horrifying. It's like blasphemous. But yeah, these people, what you'll see now is they won't ever want to engage with Jay or me. Me is not a big deal. I don't have a platform. I'm just a nerdy musician who posts music on my channel, whatever. But they'll do that, and then they'll poison the well and say, oh no, I will never debate them or talk about them, but I'll allow people to say horrible things about them and then lie. And it's just sad. It's just sad. And these are weak, and I'm not trying to be mean here. This is the mark of a weak person, not to disagree, but to not go and try to man-to-man have a conversation with someone who you disagree with and who you don't like, to at least try to bury the hatchet.
Well, I don't think they have any interest in it, because they're actually probably narcissistic weirdos themselves. Justinian, what's up, man? Thank you, Chase.
Hi there, Jay. How are you?
Good.
Yeah, so with the Roots of Orthodoxy thing, I don't think we should expect anything less from somebody put his YouTube play button in his icon corner, you know?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was... I think a lot of people called him out. It was like right next to an icon of St. Mark of Ephesus, believe it or not.
I totally forgot that. Let's see. I wonder if he still has it there.
No, he changed it. He made a post about it saying, "Oh, well, I saw all the flack I got for that, so I put it somewhere else."
Now, again, notice the priests that go on here, which I'm sure he presented himself as an inquirer. Did the priests not have the discernment to think maybe I need to wait to go on a channel that's presenting itself as Orthodox but isn't?
I mean, with uniates, you can't really expect anything other than deception, in my opinion.
I agree.
For everybody calling you out for being mean and whatnot, I think that a good way to, get everybody back on your side is you got to make a 30-minute apology video where you take like 5-second pauses, and say a 5-minute long prayer at the end, like voice of reason.
No, that's actually what I think these people respond to, because they themselves perceive piety to be a performative public thing. They want to be seen My friend, watch as I speak to the camera, and listen to my tone, and I will weep with you and pray. This is so corny, dude. It's like, that's like TV preacher level crap, dude. So, I don't know, it's just weird and gross to me. I'm trying to find the old videos where he had the prayer corner.
Somebody asked,
so here's the description of this guy's channel. Again, remember, he's a Roman Catholic. Roots of Orthodox, and he's Voice of Gunner's producer. Makes his videos. An online platform dedicated to showcasing Orthodox Christianity. But he's not Orthodox. And the channel is, like, what, a year old? 2 years old. Okay. I'm trying to, where's the video with the actual dude in it? It's all these priests that he's interviewing, but where's he at?
So my name is...
Is there a video that has the actual dude in it?
okay, the first question.
They tried to, by the way, somebody reached out and said, he would have you on. I'm like, dude, get the hell out of here. I'm not falling for that. Oh, here we go.
Into the church as an infant, and
Here's your grifter, man. Notice in the background his icon corner with a giant YouTube 100,000 button.
of course I did my first Holy Communion and all the things that you do as a Catholic. But fast forward 26 years into my life, I didn't know anything about Christianity. I didn't know what Christianity taught and believed. I didn't know what it was. I didn't even know that the object of our worship was Christ.
So this, notice all the people that are bitching about me are defending this. Voice of Reason's goober producer, who's got his YouTube play button above his Orthodox icons on his icon wall, and no one like sees an issue with this. Well, actually, a bunch of people called him out, so he quit, right? But do you understand? This is like 100 times worse than arguing on the internet. People will defend frauds, fraudulent activities, lying and being deceptive, but arguing on the internet is worse. This is what's so insane to me.
I did not know that Christ was God. I did not know that that's what was going on when we would get together to worship on Sunday. That's how bad my catechesis was, and how bad I never paid attention to anything that was going on in church. But
how come the priests weren't hypersensitive to the status of this person having them on? The priests are hypersensitive to me and what I talk about and my aggressive debate style, but they're not hypersensitive and critical and discerning about this goober's channel. I don't understand this.
Fast forward, like I said, I'm 26 years old at the time, and I called myself Catholic, but I didn't really understand anything about Christianity. I was more so intrigued by like New Age spirituality, the ancient Greek philosophers, the Stoic philosophers such as Marcus Aurelius.
So, long story short is, when he got caught that he was lying about this channel, pretending that he was Orthodox, grifting. I forgot this, I forgot that I dislike this. Right. Then he had to admit, okay, I'm not actually Orthodox. Well, why are you still presenting? Do we even know that he is now? Why is it still being presented as this? And why is this not 10 times worse than what I do? It's so lopsided that I can't make sense of the moral, ethical things here. And he would never have made this video had we and people in our circles not called this out.
part of my hidden agenda to change people's minds about Roman Catholics as if those two are the same thing, or to change people's minds about the West. That's not the case at all. In fact, this priest that I worked with was actually recommended to me by these other Orthodox priests for me to work with. So there's no malicious intent in me working with these priests or set up some type of agenda here. But I think people want to know.
Yeah, but you consistently called yourself Orthodox when you weren't and admitted you weren't. And you've got your YouTube play button on your icon wall. Are you praying to that? I don't like what?
Am I still going to keep working with Voice of Reason? Despite the fact that he's a hardcore Catholic apologist, despite the fact that he has to say that the Catholic Church is the one true church and the fullness of the faith? And the answer is yes. Right now.
Oh, yes. So 8 months ago, I'm still going to work with my Gooner friend to promote his anti-Orthodox videos as I have an Orthodox channel. I mean, but I'm bad because I debate people. That is the logic of these people. And this is why it's just so weird, and like, these people are frauds. You can literally see the fraud at work with a giant YouTube play button on his icon wall. That, to me, that's really weird. Oh, but Dyer argues with people on the internet. Yeah. No, I appreciate that. Let's read this passage because apparently a lot of people are not familiar with this basic principle of the Beatitudes, the Sermon on the Mount. Maybe you guys haven't heard this before, but when you pray or do repentance, do not be like the hypocrites, like Carb, who called in tonight, and the people commenting underneath the post on Instagram. For they love to pray standing in the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen by others. And they pray on the YouTube videos like Scam Shamu. And they do the TV preacher thing. Well, put your hands on the screens. Let me feel that you got gout. There's somebody out there who's got gout going to be healed right now. Put your hands on the screens. Jesus says that you're hypocrites. They have their reward. If you do pray, you go into your room, you close the door, and you pray in secret. And when you pray, don't babble on like Scam Shamu on YouTube prayers for 30 minutes because they think they will be heard for their many words. I guess these people have not heard this. They think it's their duty to talk about tears of repentance in Instagram comments. And if anybody criticizes the Instagram profile, they're the bad person, even though the profile is an admitted fraud profile. It's amazing to me. But no, notice what's at root of all this is exactly what that girl that called in just said, the Anna girl. What's the worst thing here is anything confrontational and anything that makes you feel bad. That's actually what's going on. So all these effeminate men are also playing into what's bad is what makes me feel bad. Or when a man confronts another man. So they're feminized. And even Jordan Peterson called this out. Remember when Jordan Peterson, like a year ago, was like, well, they're anti-confrontational. They're afraid of confrontation. A man isn't afraid of confrontation. Now, a man doesn't go out constantly wanting bad interactions and just to confront people. I'm not saying you can't debate. I'm talking about the moral confrontation. Not disagreeing with people, not formal debates, but like the rebuke, right? Yeah, a man understands that tough love is necessary. So, what's the example? Right, so let's take the Roots of Orthodoxy guy. What's the tough love here? Okay, first of all, you're just jealous of his channel. I don't care about the channel. Like, I'm not jealous. I'm doing fine. I'm not worried about a guy whose channel is 200,000, whatever it is. I don't care about that. If that guy is genuinely interested in Orthodoxy, then let's use the wisdom of Father Josiah Trenton, who he had on. He needs to wait to do this kind of stuff. Did Father Josiah tell the guy to wait? Maybe he did. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Someone should have given him the tough love that, by the way, everybody was happy to give me. Right? The tough love they were absolutely ready to give me from 2016 on. I got a lot of tough love from all of these priests and all these people. That's fine. Right? Did they give Roots of Orthodoxy tough love? I mean, maybe they did. I don't know what went on in the background. I don't know who's talking to who. I'm just saying, if you're going to call out the Ortho Bros, good. Call out the things that are 10 times worse than Ortho Bros. Skittle stuff in the church, ecumenism in the church, liberalism in the church, and frauds pretending to be Orthodox, setting up Uni 8 and Oriental Orthodox channels. That's 10 times worse than arguing and being aggressive on the internet. But if you're soy and effeminate, the only thing that's bad is what makes you feel bad. And also keep in mind that they're just getting points by counter signaling Ortho Bros. That's just another way to get points from whoever's in the comments on this goofy channel or Instagram profile, right? And if you doubt me on that, you can actually read a paper on it. It's called Virtuous Victimhood. It's a famous paper, and it's about studies that were done in how people who, in a democratic, egalitarian so-called society, cunning, sociopathic, narcissistic, psychopathic people are smart enough to figure out that virtuous victimhood and signaling that virtuous victimhood actually gets you points and traction within the system. A system that's based on phony oppression, crying, whining about how oppressed you are. That system promotes and gives currency to, both attention currency and monetary currency, to people and narcissists that can successfully signify their oppression status. That's how you get ahead in this kind of warped, backwards, inverted worldview, right? And that's the world we live in. So the persons that are the most oppressed and victimized become the most popular or the most out there, the most, it's, this kind of stuff. It's a virtuous victimhood situation that promotes cunning people that are narcissistic and psychopathic with the dark triad traits. That's what the paper says. Read the paper. It's great. When you read that paper, which is actually just about like social justice warrior type people, you will immediately spot, that's exactly what the piety signaling people do. They're identical because they have the dark triad traits. So prayer, and it's what you just read in the gospel. They're praying on Instagram. They're commenting about their tears of repentance, like on Instagram. That itself is weird. Do you think that elders and the saints are going on Instagram to talk about their prayers of repentance? That itself shows that you're insane. Just psycho, insane weirdos. By the way, significant portion of the so-called Orthodox world, I'd say 10%, 20%, are narcissistic, insane, dark triad, mentally ill weirdos and wackos. I've met a lot of them. And monastics too. Keep in mind too, a lot of these people are on SSRIs. This is an overlooked thing too. People have just been prescribed SSRIs like candy. And a lot of these people's outbursts and these weird mental things that they're having. By the way, some of the priests that have attacked me, it came out, they're actually mentally unstable people on SSRIs. Shocker. Now let's think back to the 4 main harassers in the Orthodox world of my channel and of me in the last 7-8 years. Guess what? 4 of them admitted mentally unstable psychosis people. One of whom was schizo, openly admitted he's schizo, and left Christianity to become a pagan. Another one became gay, open, Skittles man. He's a perennialist now. Another one is, everybody knows he's insane. And then another one is a rapper on psychosis meds. Okay. And all of the dum-dums on the internet who don't know stuff see their comments, they gain tens of thousands of followers, then they have meltdowns and it comes out who they really are. But for 7-8 years, they lead thousands of people into their insanity, calling me out. I mean, it's just it's like the internet, man. It's a weird place, dude. It's a weird place where I don't even know how to explain it. I mean, when I look at Roots of Orthodoxy channel, I'm like, this is obviously like a grift, and then the guy admits it, and then I'm bad because I keep talking about how he hasn't fixed this problem. I mean, what is the disconnect here? Help me understand this. You're bad. You're ortho, bro. You're bad. You argue. You're bad. Just repeating this stuff like a minor bird doesn't tell me anything other than like you're some sort of like you're like an NPC, like in a video game, the NPCs that just spit out like the program thinks. Like you're like, are you a real person? Do you like roots of marketing strategy? Exactly. Ortho Debo, $2. What do you have thoughts on the Western Rite? I think we have old clips on that. You can go look those things up. Ortho Debo, $5. In my opinion, heterodox being cringe is furthering our cause. It should be welcomed. No, I agree. Like, what always happens is, remember, let's take the Monophysite stuff. Back in 2017, 18, 19, the exact same thing happened. Back then, Coptic profiles started using Orthodox content. They called themselves Orthodox. They gained a giant following, 30, 50,000 followers back then. They start slipping in Coptic Monophysite stuff after a bunch of Orthodox clips. People then call them out. Then they play the victim. Oh, Jay's mean because he's calling out and fighting with us, brother. Brother, why you fight with us, brother? We all Orthodox. We're all Orthodox, and then suddenly we're not all Orthodox because we're also all Nestorian. So they're total liars. They'll act like they're your friends. Oh, like Muslims. And then once they gain an audience, suddenly everybody's Nestorian and they're the real Orthodox. It's just, this is what they do over and over. And back in 2017, 18, 19, who's their champion? Severin Zealot. Nobody will debate Severin Zealot. You're all cowards. David goes and destroys them so bad that the guy disappears. No one knows who Severin Zealot is. Fast forward 2025. Rinse and repeat. Giant Instagram profiles. Christ in the culture. Oh, brother, we all Orthodox, brother. And then turns out he's Coptic. And he admits it. Agan, the champion of Orthodoxy. But you're not Orthodox. And you call us Nestorians. And guess what? In 2 years, nobody will remember him. Just like nobody remembers Severin Zealot. They do the same thing. We've been here, done this. This is 2017, 18 all over again. And the Roman Catholics, they're doing the same thing. Roots of Orthodoxy. Oh, I'm inquiring. I'm Orthodox, but I'm a uniate catechumen, but I'm going to say I'm Orthodox. And I'm going to keep producing Voice of Reason's videos against Orthodoxy. Like, I don't understand why people, like, I don't know, man. Is maybe 1/4 of the so-called Orthodox world is just crazy. I don't know.